Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Rise of the Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Kara, but you might not recognize me because of my red arm.
We'll get to that later.
And I'm Brownie, and you might not recognize me because I'm not on camera. And today, I'm cutting you off. We're in the new studio.
All right, woo! We're in the new studio. Oh.
Confetti! Happiness! Fireworks!
Oh, fireworks. Come on, guys.
We love you, Chris. Chris can do it.
Yeah, Chris can do it. We throw that around a lot. Your special effects are what got people to like rewind the last video we put out.
I know. The explosions from the Y-Wing and everything.
Yep.
Chris, you're a genius.
Yep.
Yeah,
So now
Jeremy point right here.
We expect confetti.
Right there. So
Right
you can watch the Y-Wing video if you click on the info card right there.
Here. Yeah. That'll be a good video to watch. It's really good. It turned out really well.
I really enjoyed it. And watch past our closing.
Because there's some fun bloopers.
The best bloopers ever. And you get to hear a funny story about what I did to Jeremy one time.
Or you get to actually watch me struggle with putting together a Y-Wing engine, which I thought I would be good at, but apparently I'm not if you watch the video.
I had to take over a couple times.
So, the new studio, all right? This has been, like Chris said, it feels like it's been for like a year, but we've been working on it for at least a month.
Yeah.
And we're here. So we got the new background that Kara picked out.
I did. Actually, I designed this whole background. I mean, come on.
You did. We got the furniture, and this is like dedicated space to have podcasts. And so now with the new studio, I'm really excited because we can finally have a guest.
Yay! There's a spot open next to me, as you can see.
So we're going to probably have a guest on next week, which I'm looking forward to having, just an extra person talk about Star Wars or Marvel or like...
Harry Potter, anything.
Yeah, I want to talk about Endgame still, like actually talk about it and go in depth.
Because I think at this point everybody should have seen Endgame.
Actually, I'm going to talk about Endgame, Chris.
Okay. I've seen it. I've seen it twice.
Well, I know you have, but I'm sure there's people who haven't.
So they're trying to be. So this is frustrating. So, like DLC changed the video game industry, right?
Yes.
Technically, in my opinion, Endgame is now the first movie with additional DLC already.
What?
So they're trying to beat the worldwide record for Avatar. Okay? Avatar still holds the #1 spot.
Really?
So did you hear? Endgame is being re-released with additional footage. Right now, it's going to come out within it might already be out, but if not, like within a week or two, you can go back to the movie and there's going to be additional footage. It's not much, but yeah, they're adding.
You can watch an extra 7 seconds.
Yeah, that's what it's going to feel like. But.
Now I get to make a Big Bang reference to you guys. There's an episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Really?
Where they're talking about going to see, and now I won't remember what movie it is. But it's a movie where they have had a million...
Indiana Jones.
I don't think it... No, it was one where it's been released a bunch of times. And like, but there's 7 seconds of new footage that no one's ever seen before.
I remember that episode.
It's like season 1 or 2. It's a really early episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all mad because then Will Wheaton cuts them off in line, I think.
So, yeah.
Which one was it?
I don't remember the name of the movie, but...
it had to be like Planet of the Apes or something.
We already got schooled too, Chris. I got a phone call from the last podcast from David. He goes, just so you know, they released a version of Animal Crossing on the Wii. Oh. So we went from GameCube to Switch, and we missed the Wii rendition of it.
Well, nobody played the Wii, so it doesn't matter.
Wii Sport.
Oh, man. /S for sarcasm.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to the Endgame thing. Can you believe it? So they're trying to, by adding on additional footage, they're trying to re-get...
What could they have added onto it is the question.
Who knows?
I know for a fact there's an end credits scene now.
Is there?
For a fact. So now they want you to...
Was that leading into the next Spider-Man? Or?
That's what I would imagine.
I would guess. I mean, what else?
Maybe another Captain Marvel movie.
They're coming out with a Black Widow movie.
Well, that spoiler has to be a prequel.
Yeah, spoiler.
Yeah, right.
But no, yeah, they're doing a Black Widow movie, and I saw on Facebook today. I think they actually leaked Black Widow's logo for the movie.
Well, that's cool.
So I didn't click on the link, but
I will have to save that for when we have AJ on as a Marvel fan or something.
My younger brother is a comic book nerd. I love you, brother. But
I can't wait. So we were coming up with topics, and I want him to tell us so we like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. So coming from his perspective, what are some comic books we might like? Because Chris did that with an anime show, One Punch Man, which I
Oh my goodness.
I love
Watch
that
it.
show.
So good. It's so funny.
It's on Netflix right now, the first season.
Jeremy and I aren't really anime kind of people. But
I've just never really seen anything.
Right. So Chris told us about One Punch Man. We were kind of it's anime. And we watched the first one. We were like, okay, let's just give this a shot.
Watch the next
one? Yeah, we're like... So we kept watching him, and they're hilarious. So
It's really funny. I can relate because the main character works out he's the strongest person in that universe.
Jeremy relates to the
And, he
main
works out-
character.
Saitama.
Yep, Saitama, and he worked out enough that he lost his hair and he's bald now. So I'm like already that close to being Saitama.
You just got to start running more.
So Chris, Kara told me I should cosplay as him.
yes, I think that would be brilliant.
Right? I
Yeah.
think that'd be hilarious. I told him I could wax his head for him.
So on the way here, I said I wanted to cosplay as Biggs Darklighter from A New Hope. And that requires me growing my awesome mustache. And Kara said, absolutely not. So,
I said,
but she'll shave my head, but she won't let me grow a mustache.
She's only about less hair, not more.
oh, I can't do this anymore. Over Jeremy's face, we will impose a picture of him with a
Yes.
mustache.
Ooh.
And it maybe
I'm down for that.
Right, get some votes going, see what people think of it. I don't like it. It makes him look like his father, and I did not marry his father.
So
I could just CGI in a mustache.
Oh my
man.
goodness gracious.
Was he moving around like this though?
It's gonna be real bad.
It's gonna be big. Just covers all of the movement in one big thing.
It's just gonna be a really bad mustache just over your face. It's just not gonna. Yeah.
I've always wanted to see me with a beard, so there's that. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
there
grow
you
one
go.
because my job.
Okay, so seriously, Snapchat had a
beard
filter where it puts a beard on you. Jared, I don't know how many people know Binging with Babish. If you don't follow him or anything, follow him. He's awesome. Awesome recipes and stuff that he makes from movies and video games. Anyway, with the Snapchat filter, Jeremy looks like Babish.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, we did the filter and I was like, you look like Babish.
Yeah,
I forget his name. Andrew, I think.
Yeah, I could have my own cooking show. That's what he
Yeah,
does.
right.
He recreates recipes from movies and video games.
It's really
So,
cool.
He's a really good
He's
channel.
done stuff from Zelda.
It's huge. It's like
Yeah.
easily 1 million subs.
Well, so
yeah.
link in the description, but he doesn't need it.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
But if you want to watch it, it's
Maybe
really
he'll be
good.
on our show sometime.
Yeah.
I could do that.
He obviously likes nerdy stuff.
Yeah, right?
Oh, yeah,
He'd have to bring
absolutely.
us all the food, though.
Yeah, he can come and bring us some food, and then we can build a Lego set with him or something.
There you
Right?
go. Yeah.
Oh, he had Maisie Williams on
No way.
his show. Yeah, they did
Arya from Game of Thrones.
they did the direwolf bread.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they made it. It was really cool.
That's really cool.
But we have a kitchen.
Yeah, we
in
do. We
studio
do have a
here,
kitchen, yeah.
and it's like actually restaurant grade.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, he can
We
be
gotta
on our
make
show.
this happen and be like, dude,
Yeah, right.
we got 50 subs.
Come on over.
Right? If he came on our show, we'd have so many more.
We'd have 60 subs.
Yeah, all the
Yes.
subs.
We could probably make 60 subs faster.
Right.
That's probably true.
Right. So okay, so just wrap up the studio. No, just wrap
yeah.
up that whole point. So the new studio's all set up. I love it. And
Yeah.
we've got our little converies here.
So
And
mine's Morai, obviously Ahsoka's spirit friend thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy, what did you name yours?
Well, Sparky. It's just only because that was the best I could come up with. So speaking of Star Wars Celebration, that's where these came from, 2019.
Yes.
Tickets are officially on sale for 2020.
And
if you
boy,
didn't,
were we wrong.
well, yeah, right. If you didn't get your 4-day pass, those are all sold out.
They sold out within a couple hours.
Like an hour.
An hour, was
Yeah,
it?
it was
I know
crazy.
people were posting on the Star Wars Celebration page. They're like, I have been in queue. I was in queue for like an hour and a half, and they're sold out.
Yep.
They're gone. The Jedi Master,
Within minutes.
yeah,
Or within
it was
more
just
or less seconds.
done.
So here's
Yeah.
what happened. I tried to get tickets. So I was logged in. And I refreshed at noon. One screen, nothing crazy. One screen, one browser, one tab.
Mm-hmm.
Hit refresh. They went live at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit refresh on my computer. Page was crashed. Gave it like 2 seconds. Hit refresh again. Page still crashed.
It
Hit refresh
repeated the
third time.
Columbia.
Oh, yeah, the jacket.
Yeah.
Hit refresh the third time. I was in the queue. At that point, I hopped on my phone and pulled it up just to get an idea of what it was like. I hopped in the queue, and the estimated wait time on my phone was about an hour, and the estimated wait time on my computer was 15-ish minutes. So, like, in just a matter of a minute between refreshing on my computer and pulling out my phone, there was a 45-minute gap, and you can just imagine that number. I mean,
That's
it's just
insane.
mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So then I got in there, and it starts with you have 10 minutes to complete your transaction. And so I'm like, I've got to, finish this, So I-
Pressure is on.
yeah, and then they get you to buy stuff because it's like, oh, do you want your official merchandise commemorative book?
Right.
Do you want your lanyards? Do you want
Well, the
your
commemorative
pin?
book, you need the commemorative book.
Yeah.
And then you said you got the lanyards.
I got the lanyards.
The lanyards this year were sick.
Yeah,
I
they're
loved
really cool.
them.
They had like the dark side on one half and the light side on the other.
Chris, it's right there.
Okay, I'll keep going. So then
Yeah,
they had it's 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. So
There's the lanyard. Yeah. So one side is the light side: Rey, Padme, Yoda, General Kenobi, Finn, Luke, Leia, Lando.
That's the dark
Han.
side. Oh.
There you go. It's on my side. Chewie and R2, and then the other side is obviously Kylo, Palpatine, Grievous, Maul, Dooku, Vader, Boba, Stormtrooper, and Phasma.
So it's so funny to see the difference. So Amazon sponsored the lanyards if you didn't buy the nice one. So that one actually holds onto your badge. The other ones are like a string, and they're just ridiculous. So
Are those the ones with the Lego figures?
yeah, the Lego minifigures.
I mean, they're
cool.
kinda
They're
cute,
cute
but-
looking, but it's just you want like a good thing to hold on your
Yeah.
badge. You don't lose it.
Right.
But I want to give tips out there for people who we made a video about it, which we can link right here.
Over Jeremy's face.
But one thing we didn't talk about in that video is, and I've kind of just learned this from the last time it came around, is people are like scalping these on eBay, the 4-day passes. Don't buy those. You're wasting your money. It's a lot of money. You're not guaranteed to get them because it's not through an authorized
Right.
reseller. Chris and I were talking about this earlier. You can buy and sell your ticket. You're just not supposed to make a profit off of it. So if something comes up, it's not the end of the world. But closer to the celebration, keep an eye out. Star Wars Celebration will announce an official website where you can, if you need to sell your pass, you can put it up for sale. So if you did not get a 4-day pass, that's not the end of the world. Don't freak out. You still should be able to get one. Just keep an eye out on that website, and you'll be able to get a pass secondhand through somebody else, but
Right.
an unauthorized reseller of the passes.
Well, you were saying that people are selling the Jedi Master on eBay for what,
I
$7,000?
think around 700 or $7,000.
Yeah.
$7,000. The passes are 900, and they're selling them for $7,000.
That's ridiculous.
That's
I
absurd.
mean, what's wrong with people?
Yeah.
So yeah, don't buy them because like, if they find out that it was scalped and you bought it for X amount,
You're
I mean, they
probably out.
could just be like,
Yeah.
sorry, this is no longer valid.
Yeah, because they don't have to honor the ticket,
Right.
and then the reseller has already got your money. So good luck, or the scalper has already got your money. So good luck,
Yeah.
getting that back.
Yeah, maybe eBay will help you out,
Yeah.
but it's like it's a buyer
Right,
beware
what do you
type of
do?
thing.
Yeah.
So.
So, and it's the whole like everybody dealing with this. Famous musicians are dealing with scalpers, and everybody's trying to come up with their own way to fix the
Yeah.
problem. But it's not always that easy.
So, and then on top of those being sold out, I know Saturday adults are sold out. But I mean, if you want a kid ticket, you have to have an adult ticket too.
Right.
So that's kind of pointless. And then as of 5 hours ago, today, when we're recording this, 85% of Friday was sold out. So as one of the admins on Star Wars Celebration, Paige
That's
said,
crazy.
if you're thinking about it, think faster.
Is at least get a ticket. I mean, Friday, to me, the first day was one of the best days when we went to Chicago.
I agree.
There wasn't
lower key.
there definitely wasn't as many cosplayers, but everything else was really nice because there wasn't as much waiting, there wasn't a lot of
Right.
lines, and then all the fresh new announcements, like everything was in stock.
Yeah.
We got an autographed Ashley Eckstein Funko of Ahsoka, and those were out the first day. So
It's actually sitting right out there.
yeah, it's right
It
out there.
actually is.
We're
And
gonna-
so-
Soon to be in
I know, I was
here.
going to say, we're going to put up floating shelves, and all of our swag is going to go up on the shelves. So you'll see
some
those at
cool
some
stuff.
point. Mm-hmm.
I'm excited because I want to cycle stuff through for each episode, so
Right.
it kind of gives the background fun. And then I haven't told you this yet, Chris, but I'm going to go through and start creating cool information or fact sheets like when did I not wear my first Star Wars shirt, and what episode is Kara missing a pin, and just all these cool little factoids for people to like keep track of, or we can have a quiz.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
fun.
thought that you wore a Star Wars shirt for. Oh no, I do remember.
Yeah.
When, oh,
Dun, dun,
yeah.
dun.
man, I stared at so much footage. You'd think that I would know.
Yeah, I've been keeping tabs on all this stuff.
Well,
some
I
secret
think
factoids.
I think your Star Wars shirt's gonna be easier to keep track of than pins. Like my pins are so tiny.
Yeah.
Except for like that Ahsoka one and the Mandalorian Ahsoka one that I wore. Those ones are big, but
Yeah, right. They're pretty cool. So the new studio's all done. That's cool. Star Wars Celebration tickets are available. Oh, so I finished buying the tickets, right? So I added all the merch to the cart, did everything, got that transaction done. And then an hour later, the hotels went on for sale. Well, the problem is some people are still waiting in the queue from the passes, so they don't know if they need to get a hotel. So then I was able to get in there. And so I have actual numbers. So the website that did the hotel is you started on StarWarsCelebration.com, but when you clicked through to the hotel website, the reservation queue, I clicked at 10 a.m. Pacific time, like on the second, wasn't crashed, immediately took me into the queue. There was 1,900 people ahead of me for the hotel.
That's insanity.
I mean, that's insane. Booking rooms. And then, so.
This is a year and a half away.
I know. Yeah, this is August of 20, and it's June of 19 right now.
Yeah, we still got 14 months till that sucker comes around. That's ridiculous.
And so as I'm sitting there, and the hotels, so when you buy the tickets, it blocks off the maximum amount of purchasable items while you have the 10-minute window. So you can buy up to 10 passes or whatever, right? So it blocked off 10. Then once I finished and submitted my order and got out of the queue, since I bought 3, 7 became available again in the pool. That way, while they're showing you what you can do, you have access to everything until that window's done with. And so the hotels did not do that though. So I was going to book rooms and it was like, oh, this is no longer available. I back out and look for another one. Oh, that was not available. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't even complete the transaction. I was like whack-a-mole. I'm chasing around the oh, it's over there. No, it's over there. So I finally had to cut the last day off. I had to take a day off to have a smaller block of time we needed to rent the hotel. So I got it for us. 4 days. We're going to probably drive out
Less
Sunday.
than a mile away from the convention center.
Yep, I'm really
How close
excited.
is it to a Whataburger?
I know,
Also
right?
going In-N-Out. I don't know. I love In-N-Out.
I've never been to an In-N-Out.
Oh,
You've
they're
never been
so
to
good.
In-N-Out?
Animal
I live in
style.
Minnesota. Where am I going to go to
man.
In-N-Out?
Okay, we'll be going to
Animal
In-N-Out
style.
for sure.
Oh, Chris. There's a secret sauce that you can have to. It's called animal style. You order it and they put it on your burger for you. It's delicious.
And they've got a secret menu with burgers with certain
they've got
toppings and
secret
stuff.
menu.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Interesting.
It's all marketing because it's
Oh,
not
it
secret.
totally
You
is,
just
right?
Google it and everybody tells you what you
Yeah.
can order. They need to change it up. Be like, sorry, that's not on the secret menu anymore.
That's on the double secret menu. Sir?
Yeah. Just totally.
Do you have clearance to authorize or to operate
I
this
need to see
menu?
your ID, please.
So.
My Whataburger season pass.
Right. I'm super excited. So with the Star Wars celebration, it's going to be in Anaheim. I am hoping that some celebrities that weren't at the last one were there.
Oh,
are
I
gonna be
hope
there.
so.
If I really wanted to meet Mark Hamill, we got to meet Peter
Same.
Mayhew.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, people were talking about it ahead of time. You got to meet these celebrities, the ones from the original trilogy, because you just don't know how long they're going to be around for.
Right.
And so Peter Mayhew passed away 3 weeks after the last celebration. I'm still in shock about that one. It was just awesome to meet him, and you would have never guessed that he was that close to passing away, So I'm glad we did it. That was really a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But Mark Hamill was not. He was in Orlando. He was in the previous celebration, but he wasn't at Chicago. So,
I think something happened at Orlando from what I
so
heard.
the queuing for the autographs and photographs were just horrible. People would get at their allotted time and wait 6 to 7 hours, when we waited about an hour and a half from our allotted time to do our photos. But what the nice thing is, the way they had it set up, you weren't going to miss. So if you were scheduled for a photo at noon and you were scheduled for the next person at 1, it was in the same area. So if you were at noon and you didn't even get through to take your photo until like 1:15, you walked out and they immediately put you in the front of the line for your next photo. So there was some waiting, like if you only were doing 1 or 2, but if you had more than like 1 lined up, it was easier to get in there and to do that. So is there any celebrities you hope are there, Kara? Any Star
Harrison
Wars?
Ford.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
on,
like the
it's Harrison
unicorn right
Ford.
there. Like if he shows up, it would be out of the blue. No one would know. What do you think? Like the most expensive one photograph was Hayden Christensen.
He was
at this last
200?
one. He was 200.
Yeah.
So by far the most. Peter Mayhew was 70. Worth every penny.
Oh, well, Ian McDermott was 120, wasn't he?
He was 100. 100
Oh,
flat.
100? Okay.
And Hayden Christensen comes in 200. Boom.
Yeah.
Just lays down. Harrison Ford would probably be 1,000.
Who's willing to pay that?
I'm also raising my
Exactly.
hand.
Well, here's the thing, Chris. If we buy it, you can have up to 4 people in the photo. So
Exactly.
you would be in it with us.
Yeah.
With us.
Sorry, Harrison, you have to step out.
So
I would love to meet Harrison Ford. Otherwise, Daisy Ridley wasn't there.
no, I suppose all the Resistance. Or
Yeah,
all the,
John Boyega,
yeah.
Oscar Isaac, none of them were there. So it'd be really cool to see them too.
I bet you they're
Anthony
gonna be
Daniels.
I would love to meet Anthony.
Oh,
Daniels.
totally. I was right before we actually started recording. I was on the Facebook, or the Star Wars Celebration page, and apparently Anthony Daniels will kind of sneak up on people in queue waiting for things. He'll tap them on the shoulder and be like, "Excuse me, can I cut in?" And this one guy was like, I was about ready to turn around and give this guy a piece of my mind. And he said he turned around. There was Anthony Daniels. He was like, oh my gosh, like
In my opinion, too, watching the episode 9 panel from the Star Wars Celebration, Anthony Daniels was the standout guy.
Yeah,
he
he's-
was absolutely stole the show.
well, I hate to say this, but there were a couple other people, I guess Peter Mayhew and I don't remember who the other guy was, said that during shooting he actually wasn't that great. Like he
deal with?
was super mean.
Well,
But then I guess, and some fans have said that, but since those times, apparently he's completely changed.
well, he
and
has.
is a
I mean,
stand-up
he was,
guy now.
He was
Yeah.
super outgoing at the celebration.
Yeah, I would love to meet him.
I would love to meet him totally. And
He
if you
seems
don't,
super cool.
so if you don't, Anthony Daniels is C-3PO. He's the actor
Yeah.
who plays C-3PO, and he's still playing C-3PO.
Tell me the odds.
And with that being said, we let in with your red arm. Why do you
Yes.
have a red arm, Kara?
I ran the Gary Bjorklund half marathon yesterday. It's part of the Grandma's Marathon event. So I just ran 13.1 miles. It was supposed to be cloudy and rainy yesterday, so sunscreen was the last thing on my mind. I got up at 3:30 yesterday. Come on, leave me alone. I'm not thinking fully at that time.
Well, so Jeremy and I were talking about doing maybe like a time lapse of the marathon, but then like everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna be thunderstorms. It's gonna be terrible." It was like the most beautiful day of the
It
year.
was gorgeous.
I was like,
It was cold out too, so like I'm not thinking sunburn.
Right.
And I wore my hoodie for probably well over half of the race.
Yeah.
And then the last probably 5 miles, took off my hoodie, gave it to Jeremy, and then ran the rest of the way. And then it was also my birthday yesterday.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
And my whole party was outside. We grilled, we had a good time, played outdoor games and everything. And I was wearing a tank top. So I got a lot of sun, and now I am quite crispy.
You're paying the price. You're red.
So paying the price. I wore a hat, so my face is fine. But I mean, if you could see me from like my shoulders down, it's just like burnt.
Lobster red.
It's bad.
It is. It hurts. We stopped at Walmart and got aloe stuff with
Yeah.
lidocaine in it to help with it, and it's barely touched it. But
So Kara ran the Grandmas. Here's her medal.
here's my medal. Yay.
The race is nicknamed Grandma's because it's put on by a restaurant
Yeah.
called Grandma's in Duluth.
It's
Which is
actually a
pretty good.
qualifier for Boston, and
An Olympic
there's a number
qualifier.
an Olympic qualifier. There were actually a number of people who qualified for the Olympics yesterday.
That's pretty cool. Duluth has some pretty like impressive Olympians or sports. We
Yeah.
also won the gold in curling
Yep.
at the Winter
Yes, we
Olympics.
did.
That was a big deal.
Gonna brag about that forever.
I know.
Yeah, I
right?
know. It's never going to die.
It
It's never
won't.
going to die. We're so
It
proud
won't.
of it.
Well, like they're just local people around
well,
here,
you-
you know.
but
It's
you
Yeah,
like,
they just seem like dudes.
Yeah.
right, just
ladies,
normal,
Well, and
average
like,
people.
our movie theater is right in downtown Duluth, right by the lake, and right attached to the same complex is the Duluth Curling Club.
Yeah.
So it's like when you go to a movie, you can watch the people curl.
Yeah.
They're right there. So that's pretty neat. That's always one of the fun things. But the Bulldogs, the UMD Bulldogs, are really big. You know, hockey
They've won the
enthusiasts.
Back-to-back national
yeah,
champs.
I was gonna say they've won national titles.
So-
How many years now? The girls' team is good. The women's team is good. The men's team is good. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's
a lot
good.
of
We have
the
to be
women
proud
are
of.
on the Olympic team too.
Yeah,
a
and
lot
then-
play for UMD.
We have a lot of like good breweries and
Oh
restaurants.
my
and,
goodness! If you
I-
want good breweries, hit Duluth up.
Yeah, I love what they've been doing to the restaurants in the West End
Yeah.
between like ice creams and fun places to eat and
Well, there's a new one that went in down there. I had no idea.
woo.
So anyway,
Well, like which-
Duluth and proud.
Yeah, well, Corktown right now is my new jam for sandwiches. It's like some of the best sandwiches in Duluth. So if you want an excellent sandwich, I highly recommend going and getting the Lunch Lady at Corktown. It is absolutely delicious. And then right across the street from that is OMC.
They
that's-
smoke.
It's my-
Amazing barbecue.
That is my
Yes.
favorite name. It is just fun to say. OMC stands for Oink Moo Cluck because that's the type of barbecue that they have there. They have chicken, beef, and pork. So,
It's so good. They smoke their ribs for 12 hours.
oh, it is so good. And
Though
then
they
they have
fall off the bone, just
the horseradish barbecue sauce.
which actually isn't that bad.
Oh, it's really good.
I don't like horseradish, and so me saying it's not bad is pretty big.
It's really, really good. So we've talked about Star Wars stuff, talked a little bit about the celebration. We're going to keep talking about the celebration over the next couple podcasts because there's going to be announcements that are being made and stuff like that.
Well, I was telling Jeremy, I was like, we should just go through the Facebook page and answer questions people have.
yeah, I saw
You
a
know,
lot of new
there's-
first timers joining
Oh
that,
yeah.
joining the page.
Yep. A lot of
And-
first timers. Their main question: first celebration. What do I expect?
Yep. So there's a video for that.
Yeah, it's
There
already
it
in the
is.
card.
Yeah.
Okay, that's top 10 tips. This one we can go through and actually answer all the questions.
Answer any specific questions. But video games. We haven't really got to talk much about video games this time around. So, Chris, you've been bringing up Divinity.
Our last 2 podcasts
I was
are all
gonna say,
about
that's
video
what we talk
games.
I like video games.
I love video games too.
So Carrie, you might do some twitching, right?
Yes, I might start a Twitch account. Hey, you can watch me game.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite game?
My favorite game?
Yeah.
Ever? Or right now?
Okay, ever probably the Halo series.
Yeah.
I adore Halo. So Halo
That's
Infinite.
generational.
Chief Collection, or
Yeah.
not Master, what's the new one?
Halo
Halo
Infinite.
Infinite?
Infinite, yeah.
But-
I am stoked for that. But when did the original Halo 1 came out?
2001.
Oh,
2001.
I thought it was 03, man.
No, I think it's a 1.
I was 13 when I started playing that game. That game is like, that's what got me into video games.
It's hard to
You know?
beat the multiplayer of that though. So my first experience with Halo and stuff like that was the fact I went over to David's house, my buddy David's, and his dad was huge into computers back then.
He still is.
And
Yeah.
oh, he still absolutely
Yeah.
is. But at that time, you really needed to be into the nitty gritty of computers to understand like LAN parties and network and stuff like that. It wasn't as user friendly as it is nowadays.
Right.
And so I remember having to find like crossover Ethernet cables because if you went from Xbox to Xbox, you needed a crossover to handle the network. Anyways,
Or you need to go into a switch or something and have
Yes.
everything to go into the switch,
Switch
so
and-
it could, yeah.
and go out. So David and I go over and he's like, "Oh man, you got to get an Xbox." So I got an Xbox and we hooked our Xboxes together. This was before Xbox Live was out, but it wasn't what it is today.
Well, and the internet in 2001 was terrible.
It was terrible. And so we hooked our TVs up, or hooked our Xboxes up and landed them together over an actual Switch and played multiplayer.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind that we could have our own TV. Everything up to that point was split screen.
Oh, split screen.
I was a cheater. I always looked at the other people.
Oh, you screen peeked?
I always screen peeked.
And then he'd use the
Jeremy.
far sight, and then
Oh
you'd just be done.
man! Oh, Perfect Dark, or in GoldenEye, dun 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 dun.
Oh, yeah, GoldenEye.
So everything had been split screen. So now it's like you could have your own screen, your own, TV, your own Xbox. Everything was yours.
Your own tube TV, just
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
huge
Well, so that's what's
thing.
really funny is like now TVs, like everybody's got like a 30, 40, 50-inch TV.
I planned a 65-inch
A
TV.
32-inch tube TV was big,
That was massive.
but
back
it was
Yeah.
heavy. It was.
They were huge.
They were huge with
Kids
all the
nowadays
glass.
have no idea.
So
I have a story. I remember going over to Tony's house. Do you remember the little TV he had that was like this big?
Yes.
Oh,
where
I
the
had
power
one of
button
those
was
in
missing. You had to
college.
reach into the TV to turn it on.
Yes.
And we would play 4-player split screen on like a 9-inch
Oh my
screen.
gosh.
And like I think about it now, it's like I wouldn't even be able to, and it's SD quality. It's
Yes.
like less than 480.
Right.
It's
Can
like
you-
360i.
Can you imagine giving a 9-inch TV to a kid nowadays?
Oh, they would.
Phones are bigger than that.
Yeah, an iPad. That's not an
My
iPad. was bigger than
iPad,
that.
my iPad is bigger than that.
Yeah.
The kids would be like, "What is this?"
Halo was the game that people started LAN partying, and then so David had his birthday party, and he had a whole bunch of people. They set up a big tent out back. His mom conveniently worked at a rental place, so she rented a big tent. And then Al had all these TVs and everything set up, and we had just a big Halo LAN party. And for the first time ever, because it still supported up to 16 people via that, but you had to have the network switches and all the
Dang.
cables and everything. And we just played Halo, and it was so much fun because it was like you'd get done with a match, and it was immediately you just wanted to play another match. And it was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
what are we
yeah.
doing next? Capture the flag. All right, and then everybody would join, capture the flag, or just regular old, team deathmatch or whatever,
Yeah.
Slayer, and it was just so much fun.
Slayer.
Oh man, and then. So then Halo 2 came out and you could do it over the internet. And that's when Xbox Live was really starting to become a thing.
Yeah, that was like the thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing.
Well, I remember in college, 2008 was I took 2 years off between high school and college, but 2008, we played every Friday, Saturday night probably. We would stay up all night playing Halo.
Oh yeah.
All night.
Easily.
In college.
So-
There were times I probably should have been working on homework. And here's the thing. I was the only girl playing Halo with the guys. I kind of felt a little, weird, but I enjoyed it. It's what I love doing,
So all night gaming. This is one of my favorite all night gaming stories.
12-pack of Mountain Dew right there.
Mountain Dew is the fuel we ran on.
Yes,
and they even lean into that. They made a game fuel version.
Well, okay, we have a 12-pack of Halo Mountain Dew around here.
We do. So one of my favorite all night gaming stories. Ever since Rock Band came out, Chris and I have played Rock Band on and off randomly throughout time.
I still play regularly.
And Chris is just 10% better than me. If we're playing head to head, he'd always beat me by like a little bit of a streak or a little bit of a note. So David and I get Rock Band, the original Rock Band, and we fire up the endless set list. It is every song in the game back to back to back to back.
Oh my gosh.
David got off of work at like 10 o'clock at night. We were in the basement of his house playing. We fired up, we're going, and we get to the second to last song, I think. And was it Green Grass and High Tides? What was the epic?
I think that's
Green
the one.
Grass is the final song, I think.
So I don't remember the one before that. But I think it was Freebird on that same one, or was it?
I was gonna say
was
Freebird's
Guitar
always-
Hero 2. The Rock Band was man, I can't remember. But the second to last song, I think is harder than the last song in
Should we look it up?
So we get to the second to last song.
Yeah, you can go. Every other phone is being obligated by me right now.
Okay, so what is this? Rock Band?
Rock Band endless set list.
Yeah.
Okay, so David and I are powering through it. I'm playing guitar. David's playing bass. We power all the way through. We get to the second to last song. It's 3:34 in the morning, and we couldn't beat it. You were working overnights,
As I did for a long time.
and I'm like, I need to phone in a friend here. We need to beat this. We're not giving up.
Phone a friend
It's an
who wants to
achievement
be a
do-
millionaire.
you unlock an achievement for doing it. It's totally worth it.
It's totally worth it.
Okay.
And it's like the achievement to have. So I called up Chris, and I'm like, Chris, I need you to come over. Do you remember this?
I when you said you had an all night story, I was like, oh, I'm going to tell the story about this. I didn't realize we were going to tell the same story. So yes, I
it's
remember
this
this
one.
explicitly.
Is it Enter Sandman?
No, that one's in the middle.
Because the way they listed it was Enter Sandman and then Green Grass and High Tides.
That's for sure not that. That's
Yeah, I was
not the
gonna
second to last
say.
song.
Maybe
That's
we
in
were
the
just
middle.
stuck on
Run to the Hills?
Green
Oh,
Grass.
it might have been Run to the Hills.
It
Because
could be.
otherwise that's the second to last.
I
that they-
think that it might be that.
So it's 3:30 or 4 in the morning. I call Chris. I'm like, Chris, David and I are stuck. We keep losing on this song. Keep failing out. Can you come over and do it? And so Chris comes over. I hand Chris the guitar. I revert back down to bass, and we hammer it out.
Bass.
And we beat it. We beat it, and I could not believe it because it was like, you don't want to give up. We started at 10, and we've already been playing for 6-7 hours at this point, and it's 52 songs.
I thought it was more. I thought it was in the
54?
60s.
Did it say the quantity?
I know they've gone up every time, but I want to say it wasn't like
It was
like
but
61 or something.
at least 50 songs.
58?
58?
58.
Okay.
It's about halfway between them.
we up to this point we had played 56 songs, and Chris helped us drive home the last two.
Yeah.
Chris comes in, no practice, whips that bad boy
he's
out.
not practice.
After an 8-hour shift at work, I just stroll in, 2 songs, go home.
It was insane. So it was like you got to sync. So as you if you're not playing well enough, you've got to tip the guitar back to activate star power mode and just.
You want
hammer
star
through
power
it.
mode anyways.
But you got to use it to get you through the rocky parts.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
right. I
man.
mean, it helps you, but it also helps everybody else.
Oh yeah, well you bring
know.
your bandmate back from certain death.
Yeah, it's,
death,
it's
yeah.
like using you got to strategize about when to deploy. But
so-
I have a story similar to that. So I think it was Rock Band 3. They have an even harder achievement where you have to play all the songs back to back without pressing pause or failing.
Oh,
And
Oh my gosh.
me and my roommate Jim decided we were going to try it one night. We literally got to the last song and we failed like 20 seconds before the end of it.
No!
And we're like,
I probably would have cried.
yeah, I was like, well, that sucks. We turned off the PlayStation and called it good. So we didn't because we could have finished it and gotten the regular achievement for just beating the endless set. We'd never done the endless set list up to that point because this one I think was closer to 80 songs.
Oh.
And we were playing on expert, of course. Like
yep.
we weren't
Of course. I mean, who doesn't play on expert?
well, yeah, because you want to get like the best version of this.
Right.
That's true.
Absolutely.
And we went through and we beat every song, went through, and then it was the very last one. And and I played the songs a bunch of times. I knew it was like we were so close to the end and we just failed. And it was like couldn't have tripped over the finish line harder.
Oh, that sucks.
But at least it wasn't a thing like, you watch those bikers who give up just the last second and someone snipes it from you. Yeah, no, this was, you guys were biking, I'll put your hearts into it, and you're just chain snapped or something.
Yeah, and we fell into a volcano.
Yeah. It's about probably what it felt like at that point.
Mad props to you guys who play guitar. Like the guitar, though, I can't. Like, I fail. I'll play the bass, but more often than not, I'll sing.
That's our singer. That's our vocalist over there.
And we've 100%ed a few songs.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
On Expert.
Yep. And so we brought up Kara twitching because if you wonder why people how could anybody want to watch somebody else play a video game?
It's actually really a lot of fun just watching the reactions and
it is.
I actually before the podcast today, I was watching. Shout out to Picaspri. I was watching his Pokemon Black Johto randomizer. Which he streams, but then I'm never up when he's streaming or anything, but he puts them on YouTube too, and it's just super fun.
That's cool.
I love watching people do video game playthroughs, then I don't have to play myself.
Well, one of the greatest things, one of the coolest Twitch memories for me I have is Twitch plays Pokemon.
Oh, man.
So epic. As a collective, how you commented affect the input into the Game Boy emulator. So they have basically the entirety of the viewers controlling the game, and so it was so chaotic at first that they had to override it would take like the strongest response of a certain period of time. Yes, and
otherwise everything it was just like logging or lagging with all the inputs and everything, and just menu open, menu close, menu open, menu close.
Oh man! And so it's like they caught like a legendary bird. Was it Zapdos?
I can't remember who it was when they released it.
Yeah. Oh. Like they ended up catching a legendary, and then who was the savior of that one? It was like Butterfree. There was one key clutch, or it was like Kabuto or something. It was like
there was one guy that was just the MVP.
It
just carried him
hilarious.
through everything. Man, it's been too long since I looked. That was so interesting.
It's just so
I think
cool.
you're the one who told me about it, and then I would check in on it every couple hours just to see what's happening for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it lasted a while, but it was just just that concept of people like hopping on while it was going on. You could be a part of that big community and then just watch the way that it interacted. So
the thing that I really like about it, so outside of the fact that like you don't have to purchase 20 billion games, if it's like a game you're interested in, you can see someone play it, but then.
Right.
Everyone plays games so differently than everybody else, and seeing somebody else and how they interact with the situations and stuff is just a really, really, really fun time.
That's what I like about like Minecraft is, you see the different ways people play. Like Chris, you and I play completely different. We play survival where you need to earn your materials, and like I like building. Chris is all about functionality. He likes storage lockers with everything labeled and auto sorters.
My chest offended him yesterday.
You need wood, run all the way over to the sawmill building and collect your wood. Oh, you need chickens, run all the way over to the chicken coops to get the chickens. Oh, you need metal, you better go down into the mine. Get it from the blacksmith down there, so people play completely differently.
Oh, they totally do.
It's so much fun. That is like Portal grades you on that, the video game Portal. Is if you beat it the recommended way, something happens, but it like logs the way that you play. It'll tell you if you played it differently, which is pretty cool. Like if you solved it out of the box, which makes you always feel pretty cool if you do it that way.
Well, yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we have video games. Was there anything else on our list, Kara?
To talk about today?
Yeah.
Well, besides video games and stuff, I guess. You wanted to talk about Chernobyl, maybe?
Well, I can't. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer on Chernobyl because apparently it's not. Even though it happened in 1986, there's still spoilers out there for people who haven't seen it. But it just took me by storm. We got done watching Game of Thrones, and we still have our HBO. So I thought, well, how can I use this? So Chernobyl's a 5-part miniseries on HBO. Came out in May. All 5 episodes are out.
Well, okay. If it's been out since May and you haven't seen it,
I don't have HBO
spoilers?
money is the problem.
I'll give you my login.
Oh, well, how long are the episodes?
An hour.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah,
and then we can talk about it next week.
Okay,
we can talk about it next week. I watched all 5 episodes within 2 days. It was just so fascinating to me. And what I like is the real part of it. I have an understanding of, radiation and but I
work with radiation daily.
Right, but so you've got the stuff.
It's come far. It's come real far.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's like you've got. I understand how nuclear fission works in a power plant now. I mean, I knew about it, but they do such a good job of explaining what happened, how this power plant was different from the rest of the world, but how this impacted the entire planet.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
My uncle was in Germany, I want to say. And he was affected by the fallout out there.
Absolutely.
Like they had they had to do like some sort of like iodine treatments or something to like I don't remember.
Won't
the specifics
iodine
of it.
go and like encapsulate all the...
You learn about this by watching Chernobyl. I do want to
go
talk
ahead and
about
talk about
this.
that
I want to
part.
talk about this. So your thyroid, you need iodine to live.
Yes.
And iodine goes to your thyroid.
Which is why they
So-
say like iodized salt is better than,
So what happens is radiation is a neutron that leaves the radio active element. It shoots off a neutron, or it gives them off. That's what. So
Talking about like beta decay or alpha decay or
yes,
something?
yep.
Okay.
I believe it's a neutron that leaves the element. So that neutron is, has a lot of energy in it, and it comes in. So what happens is you've got in your thyroid, you've got iodine.
Is that where your
Thyroid.
is?
Well,
Thyroid's up here.
I was just saying, I thought it was up
It is.
so in your thyroid.
In your thyroid. Wait, is that my liver?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Chris.
Dr. Jeremy.
Now I'm
pointed that out.
blushing.
I was
I'm
like,
red,
wait.
and this isn't from radiation.
We have thyroid collars at work that go here. I was like,
So-
how's that going to help this?
So here's what's just interesting. So you've got iodine, right? And it easily absorbs radiation. In layman's, so it easily absorbs it. So what happens is there's a version of iodine that's already loaded with non-radioactive molecules. So you take a pill that's already. So imagine it's like a hotel. There's no room to move in. So you fill up all of this real estate with booked hotels that are non-radioactive. If you didn't take the pills, you have all this vacancy. So the radiation enters in your thyroid and it doesn't leave. And so it sits and emits it from your thyroid and you will get cancer.
Interesting.
Dang.
So, but it just blows my mind that you can take a pill and then like they actually have a solution to help prevent that.
That's interesting.
But you get all the immediate effects of it, So it's like, and your sunburn is from radiation from the sun.
Yep.
Right.
But to like just learn about how this impacted the entire planet and then like how Russia's dealt with it. And then I have heard about Chernobyl.
Yeah. I mean, I
all
feel
the time,
everybody has heard
randomly,
about
right?
Chernobyl.
You've heard about Chernobyl.
Yeah, it's a world-defining event.
Right.
But
it totally is.
it's still applicable to today. Like there's still stuff happening there. They're still working on cleaning it up. They're still doing stuff with it. So it's a really cool miniseries. It covers why it blew up, how it blew up, what happened immediately afterwards, and to get those points of view, they do an extremely good job of painting that picture.
Interesting.
And not all the episodes are super graphic. There's some graphic like viewer beware, but nothing to where I would even say like it's at least PG-13. So like you could watch it, and like kids could learn about it in high school. In my opinion, it's not that bad where you can watch it, enjoy it. So
I've heard it's fairly accurate to what actually,
It's-
obviously it's accurate to what happened, but like visually. So I was reading an article that showed pictures from Chernobyl and then compared it to the exact same picture in the show. And it's like exact.
yes,
They did a very good job about
I was hooked.
setting people up exactly where they were, setting up different sets and stuff like that to make it look exact. Because I know a lot of movies, even though they're totally historical, they take liberties.
Yeah, creative license.
Yeah.
whatever
Right,
they call
and
it.
so it looks nothing like it would have. And there's just things wrong with it. But this one, I guess they actually did their homework, looked at pictures, reviewed footage and stuff like that, and it's legit.
yeah,
kinda
and
cool.
and it's like one of the scenes that stands. So it's like it blows up, right? People went
Spoiler.
up. Yeah, right.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
It blows
Chernobyl
up.
explodes.
It explodes, the power plant. So it explodes, and then these people go out, right? And so to get a better view, they go up on this railway bridge. Every single one of the people that went up on the railway bridge died of cancer within a year or something like that.
That's
It's just all
insanity.
these like real impacts because the world was, the average person was ignorant to the effects of radiation. And so like, oh man, what a rabbit hole to go down to, go
Right.
down right now. But it took me by surprise. Like I watched it, I was addicted to it. I was like,
Well,
this
go
is
back to like
really fascinating.
when they first discovered radiation.
Yeah.
Like the guy would
Adam Curie?
Madame Curie. I know she was
Did you
part.
say Adam Curie?
No, but Adam.
Oh, okay.
Madame
I
Curie.
thought you said Adam.
Did she find it herself, or was she
It was
a
an
part
accident.
of?
I think so. It was her and her husband worked. She did a lot of the heavy
Yeah.
lifting. I think it was just like research. I don't know if they discovered necessarily what radiation was,
Right.
but they did a lot of
Or at least
But-
the X-ray.
work around
I know, like,
defining it. And
He would, the husband, I guess, would like take X-rays of constantly of like his son's hands and feet and stuff like that. You know, I mean, Did he die? I'm sure he would have had to, because like I know we've got like lead collimators and stuff that really cuts back on how much radiation actually goes into a person. Back then they didn't have that.
This is the part of the podcast where people just like go deep into the science in the comments and make us look like idiots.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, here's the thing. I did have to take a number of classes on radiology because of what I do.
I suppose.
So I mean, I could tell you about like the whole radiation, the tube head and stuff like that.
But
anyway.
So it's like, so they bury bodies in Chernobyl that they know are affected with radiation. They put them in a giant steel casket.
Steel or lead?
They show it's steel. It looks like stainless steel. And then they buried them in concrete, in a lot of concrete. You know, and it's like, it is crazy to see that. And, you know, these people that are grieving are saying goodbye to their significant others and their family members. And you just see this, and it's just so dramatic compared to like a regular burial even, you know. Yeah. And it's like, they just can't bury them in the ground. They actually have to protect.
Insane.
Yeah, the world from the radiation. So.
Crazy.
Well, we blew up by coming into our new studio, and we ended on another big blow up instead of Chernobyl back in the
literal.
in 86s. I really enjoyed this podcast. This was a lot of fun today. Good. It's really fun being in here.
Good conversation.
This is a nice room.
This is a very nice room.
Oh my gosh. Love it.
So I'm looking forward to doing more podcasts here. That's for sure.
Too.
We easily talked on this one for quite a while. So
yeah.
We're at like 50 minutes.
Oh my gosh, are we really?
This might be a new record.
We've been in here 20 minutes, you know?
Sorry, everybody who wants to watch this and realizes they don't want to spend that much of their life watching this.
Okay, I have watched podcasts that are like 2.5 hours. Okay, not watch. I turn them on and listen to them.
We'll get there someday.
We'll get there someday. But this is a nice change of pace. It's
totally
a lot easier to...
I enjoy sitting on my comfy couch now instead of a nasty, hard stool.
Yeah, those awful bar stool style.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you still get to go in there a week and sit on those. So.
All right, but we're going to get new ones for in there too. We're going to.
At some point, yeah.
Soon.
All right. Well, so if you like this video, even though it's 5 miles long, go ahead and show your support and hit like on the video.
Go ahead and comment what you think we should maybe discuss later on.
We really like making these videos, and we've really been having fun do this. So subscribe to us, and you'll see more of these videos, and you'll get notified. And we also, you know, I'm just throwing this out there too. If you ever want to work with us on a project, we have, you know, great studio space down here.
We do.
Reach out to us, send us a message if you're in the Duluth area, and we'll, you know, love to work with you on something. But yeah, come check out our videos, subscribe, and you know, we'll keep working with you in the future. So.
And finally, if you really love us, go ahead and click on the bell so you can be notified whenever we upload anything new. So may the force be with you.